Demands for the league to exile Tyreek Hill forever are exploding. Right now, front office brass are diving deep into his actions, weighing penalties that stretch from sitting out several matchups to the ultimate lifetime exile usually kept for the most unredeemable serial rule breakers. Throw in explosive domestic violence accusations from his estranged spouse, Kia Vicaro, who alleges 8 terrifying distinct encounters, alongside a massive civil claim from an internet star claiming he shattered her leg. Add a 10-year rap sheet, and this superstar is trapped in a massive hurricane the league simply cannot turn a blind eye to anymore. Time to track how a legendary gridiron speedster plummeted from securing a championship ring to becoming the most fiercely scrutinized athlete in professional football today, and uncover exactly where this chaos leads. Long before clinching 8 Pro Bowl appearances, snagging the coveted Cheetah moniker, or inking a historically massive receiver payday, he was just a 20-year-old taking the field for Oklahoma State. By December 2014, authorities slapped him with horrifying domestic assault and strangulation charges. Crystal Espanol, his partner back then, reported a vicious fight at his place where he allegedly punched her gut, battered her face, and violently cut off her air supply. She revealed to police she was 8 weeks pregnant with his baby. After receiving emergency hospital care, she went home, while Oklahoma State reacted instantly, permanently booting him from their roster. His athletic dreams were dangling over the abyss, seemingly crushed before they truly began. Fast forward to 2015, the player admitted guilt to felony assault and choking. The judge handed down probation, forcing him into a mandatory domestic violence rehabilitation course, alongside a delayed judgment. Stay completely out of trouble, and that severe felony gets erased entirely. Miraculously, he pulled it off. By August 2018, courts dismissed the conviction after he crushed his probation terms, wiping the slate clean. Yet, the brutal fallout had already destroyed his scouting value. Elite colleges treated him like poison. He fled to West Alabama, a tiny Division II squad, dominating his lone season there to flash his lethal, game-breaking agility to pro talent evaluators. During the 2016 draft, terrified franchises completely avoided him. But the Kansas City Chiefs took the ultimate leap. They snatched him up in the 5th round at pick 165, completely conscious of his dark past and that guilty plea. Betting his unearthly speed erased the PR nightmare, relying on his official 4.29-second 40-yard sprint. That massive gamble yielded jaw-dropping early dividends on the field. He exploded onto the gridiron during his freshman campaign, taking special teams kicks entirely to the house, while leaving elite tacklers looking like they were trapped in absolute slow motion. He instantly cemented his terrifying status as football's most lethal scoring threat. Year 2 brought Pro Bowl honors. Year 3 crowned him first, Team All-Pro, while linking up with Patrick Mahomes in 2018. The wideout morphed into the ultimate deep ball nightmare, causing defensive bosses absolute panic. Together, they forged the most thrilling passing connection modern fans had ever witnessed. Management, diehards, and executives desperately bought into the fairy tale. It looked like the perfect comeback, a flawed kid owning a horrific blunder and resurrecting his destiny on the gridiron. Then 2019 arrived to violently shred that beautiful illusion. By March 2019, cops descended on his residence, probing horrifying rumors of child neglect concerning his 3-year-old boy with Crystal Espanol. Official documents explicitly named the superstar, detailing that the toddler suffered a fractured limb. Law enforcement hit that exact property on March 5th, probing potential severe mistreatment, rushing back on March 15th following fresh, horrifying battery accusations regarding the same kid. 2 terrifying dispatches, 10 days separating them, identical location, same little boy. Johnson County prosecutors aggressively intervened, with District Attorney Steve Howe convinced severe laws were broken yet unsure exactly who to arrest. He claimed the mounting clues simply could not pinpoint the exact monster behind the brutal harm. Neither parent faced formal prosecution, yet this high-stakes probe remained intensely active. On April 25, 2019, Kansas City broadcast network KCTV5 unleashed a devastating 11-minute secret tape that utterly nuked the professional football world. The child's mother supposedly captured this damning, intense exchange at Dubai International Airport, allegedly stockpiling it as ultimate leverage if her fiancé ever dared to blame her for the boy's trauma. What played on that tape was pure gasoline. You can hear her demanding to know why their boy blamed daddy for snapping his little bone. The receiver fiercely denied it, sparking a furious verbal war where she bluntly stated the boy lived in absolute fear. She recounted horrifying moments of brutal discipline, alleging he struck the kid's chest and used a strap, then dropped the chilling quote that cemented the scandal forever. Replying to her claim about the terrified boy, he fired back, "You need to be terrified of me too." The subsequent backlash was instantaneous and absolutely merciless. Franchise brass instantly exiled their star from the facility. General manager Brett Veach publicly barred him from stepping foot near any squad operations. Amidst the intense scrutiny, ownership head Clark Hunt expressed profound disgust over the leaked tape, while head coach Andy Reid confirmed prosecutors resurrected the criminal probe over this explosive new proof. Both parents were swiftly stripped of custody rights. State officials ripped the 3-year-old from their residence under a massive Johnson County emergency protection order. That is an extreme legal nuke, deployed only when judges believe a kid faces severe neglect, extreme danger, or confirmed brutality. Defending his name through his legal team, he broadcasted absolute innocence, insisting he cherishes and backs his relatives beyond measure. The press release claimed his boy's safety was his ultimate mission. Meanwhile, defense attorney Trey Patund furiously rejected nasty rumors of any punches or aggressive limb grabbing, promising his clients total unconditional compliance with the upcoming front office investigators. Authorities dragged out a brutal 4-month internal probe while family court operations played out silently. Detectives supposedly ruled the bone fracture a total accident, and in July 2019, the commissioner refused to ban him under the behavioral guidelines, leaning heavily on the fact that local police files remained tightly locked away. Because judicial details stayed completely hidden, and local cops openly admitted they lacked enough smoking gun proof to definitively name an abuser, the wideout was spectacularly greenlit to rejoin Kansas City for summer practices. He dominated the 2019 and 2020 campaigns. Come February 2020, he seized a championship ring, snagging 9 targets for 105 yards and a score while obliterating the San Francisco 49ers. The ultimate gridiron speed demon secured ultimate glory, leaving that horrifying, scandalous nightmare fading entirely into his rearview mirror. Yet the public never forgot that chilling recording. Those haunting threats lingered in the air, even after league officials looked into it and let him walk away scotangent-free. Law enforcement cleared him entirely, filing 0 charges. The masses, however, played judge and jury, and their ruling against the star athlete was absolutely merciless. Fast forward to March 2022. A massive trade shipped the speedster from Kansas City to Miami. Management immediately locked him down with a massive 4-year, $120 million extension. That massive payday crowned him the richest pass catcher across the league. This move signaled a clean slate, different jersey, vibrant town, blank page. Sadly, that piece shattered roughly 15 months later when drama struck again. Trouble ignited on June 18, 2023, at a bustling Miami Beach marina. His crew was lounging around when 2 female companions accidentally stepped onto an unauthorized vessel. A fleet employee quickly stepped up to challenge them, making it clear that unpaid guests had to leave immediately. Tensions instantly exploded. According to the ship's commander, the athlete completely lost his temper, spewing vicious insults while aggressively trying to force his way aboard before being restrained. The superstar supposedly taunted the captain, claiming he could purchase both him and his ship. Suddenly, the verbal sparring turned violent. Security cameras captured the receiver sneaking up behind a dock worker and delivering a harsh strike right to the back of his skull. Video showed bystanders desperately struggling to restrain the furious star. He reportedly threw $200 at the victim to make it go away, which was firmly rejected. Authorities immediately launched a probe, scrutinizing the tapes and questioning camp personnel by late July. Stepping up to the microphones following the chaos, the receiver finally broke his silence. He brushed it off as a foolish blunder, assuring reporters that everything was already handled. Legal representatives from both sides ultimately issued a unified declaration, verifying that peace was made. Not a single criminal complaint was pushed forward. By August 2023, league executives officially announced the receiver would face absolutely 0 punishment for the dockyard clash. Yet another probe ended with him dodging consequences entirely. This troubling cycle was growing glaringly obvious. Then, an influencer stepped into the spotlight. Social media personality Sophie Hall dropped a legal bombshell, accusing the athlete of shattering her limb during a private estate training session back in the summer of 2023. Court documents allege he challenged his guest to run some routes. Things kicked off lightly enough until the woman managed to push the superstar backward, supposedly leaving him utterly embarrassed. During the very next drill, he supposedly bulldozed into her with terrifying aggression. The brutal impact snapped her right bone, demanding immediate surgical reconstruction with steel plates. The player completely rejected these accusations. Her pursuit of unlisted financial compensation is still blazing through the courts. Then arrived September 8, 2024, a moment where millions witnessed a multi-angle spectacle of the receiver clashing with law enforcement. Cruising toward the stadium in his exotic sports car, cops flagged him down for blazing past speed limits just 3 hours prior to kickoff against Jacksonville. A routine ticket for allegedly hitting 60 miles per hour in a 40 zone rapidly detonated into a nationwide scandal right before our eyes. Police recordings captured absolute chaos as a patrolman forcefully yanked the superstar from his driver's seat after he defiantly sealed his darkened window. A swarm of cops slammed the speedster into the dirt, slapping on steel cuffs and pressing his face violently against the unforgiving asphalt. Fellow roster members pulled over to back up their star, which quickly resulted in one of those massive defenders getting thrown in restraints himself. Footage ignited the internet almost instantly. Franchise management released a furious declaration, slamming the police department for deploying brutally excessive tactics and escalating the encounter. Local law enforcement immediately benched the primary patrolman, stripping his field duties to kickstart an intense internal review of the takedown. That particular cop carried a massive trail of past grievances, brutality accusations, and benchings across his lengthy career. Remarkably, the shaken receiver still suited up to play. He dominated the gridiron, securing 7 grabs for 130 yards, capping it off with an electrifying 80-yard sprint to the end zone. He mocked the morning's arrest by letting a teammate pretend to lock him in shackles. Post-game microphones captured him dropping a profound hypothetical that shook the nation. If he lacked his immense fame, heaven only knows how horribly those officers might have treated him. Those initial speeding tickets completely vanished because the arresting officers never even bothered showing up to the hearing. The precinct awkwardly brushed it off as a simple scheduling error. The star gloated online, taunting his digital haters. That upcoming 2025 campaign felt like a promised fresh start. Instead, it brutally marked the dramatic collapse of his Florida empire. Chaos erupted in April 2025 when authorities rushed to his massive beachfront mansion. His wife's mother had frantically dialed emergency dispatch, claiming a violent attack was unfolding. The frantic caller accused the athlete of shattering electronics and violently snatching the young child after a screaming match with his spouse erupted. His partner confessed to police that separation papers were already underway. The couple swore no punches were thrown. Yet responders noted visible discoloration high up on the woman's collarbone. She brushed off the mark, assuming it was just a careless accident during the toddler exchange. Once again, police walked away without pressing a single charge. The receiver vacated the property, shutting the police file. However, the ensuing legal separation unleashed a brutal storm of explosive public revelations. The estranged spouse leveled devastating cruelty allegations against him, detailing 8 distinct episodes of torment in her official paperwork. His defense squad retaliated instantly. His lawyer fiercely condemned the latest claims, blasting them as a deliberate character assassination plot designed solely to extort a massive financial payout from his client. Come September 2025, professional football leadership finally announced they were diving into an intense behavioral investigation regarding the embattled star. A formal bulletin released by headquarters brushed it off as routine, claiming they always scrutinize these types of severe accusations. The head coach in Miami heavily hinted that an internal punishment protocol was already firing on all cylinders behind closed doors. Investigators absolutely needed to question the accuser, but corporate officials lacked any legal authority to force a deposition. Without her voice, the probe dies instantly. But if she talks and investigators trust her story, the receiver faces catastrophic penalties. Cyberspace erupted in fury, with passionate crowds screaming for absolute zero tolerance from the commissioner. One user demanded the athlete be locked away forever. Someone else pointed out the grim reality. Elite speed and incredible catches make society blind to horrifying behavior. Demands for a lifetime suspension skyrocketed out of control. Suddenly, the sport itself delivered a devastating, heart-wrenching plot twist. By the 4th week of the 2025 schedule, tragedy struck under the bright Monday lights against New York. The speedster completely shattered his knee, shredding several crucial ligaments. Surgeons rebuilt the damaged joint, but his 2025 campaign was dead. Hauled off his home turf on a medical transport, he waved goodbye later, confessing that permanent retirement genuinely crossed his mind. While the star receiver rode the bench, off-field chaos completely hijacked the news cycle. By October 2025, the brutal specifics of Keto Vaccaro's allegations surfaced, keeping the league's disciplinary watchdogs on high alert. Come February 2026, Miami finally pulled the plug and cut him loose. Axing their superstar rescued $22.8 million in cap space, dodging massive guaranteed payouts set for the 2026 campaign. Suddenly thrust into the open market completely unattached, he was battling back from a catastrophic knee blowout while staring down the barrel of an ongoing league conduct probe. Add a messy marital split to the mix, along with a terrifying rap sheet that serves as the ultimate cautionary tale of wasted redemption arcs. Taking to social media, he promised fans the speedster would rise from the ashes, promptly changing his bio to jobless. So, what is the endgame here? Our headline teases the ultimate football death penalty: permanent expulsion. But we need to separate the absolute truth from the swirling rumors. Heading into February 2026, the league's Behavioral Watchdog Committee has yet to close their dossier on him. Nobody has officially handed down a permanent exile just yet. Instead, Brass launched a massive inquiry triggered by those horrific household violence accusations leveled by Keto Vaccaro. Should investigators validate these severe breaches, his incredibly dark past will instantly magnify whatever wrath the commissioner decides to unleash, stretching all the way back to that ugly 2014 ordeal that got him completely booted from Oklahoma State. Do not overlook this crucial catch. Football's behavioral rulebook grants executives absolute power to judge a man's entire rap sheet when handing down disciplinary thunder. The commissioner wields absolute authority to sideline anyone linked to real or promised physical harm, regardless of whether police ever slapped on cuffs or dragged them into court. History proves you do not need an actual criminal conviction to catch a devastating suspension on the gridiron. Deshaun Watson ate a brutal 10-game exile over severe misconduct and boundary-crossing claims, despite dodging criminal indictments altogether. Tripping the league's violent offense wire a second time triggers apocalyptic penalties, easily paving the way for permanent banishment from the sport. The framework to absolutely nuke a career is already baked into the bylaws. Now, let us look at the grim reality staring this superstar in the face. The man is 31, creeping up on 32. He boasts an insane 11,363 receiving yards, ranking 9th among guys in their first 10 campaigns, plus 28 deep strike touchdowns over 50 yards, sitting 4th in history. He holds 5 elite team nods, an incredible 8 all-star appearances, a championship ring, and the undisputed reputation as one of the most terrifyingly explosive weapons to ever touch the grass. Yet, he is simultaneously fighting back from a catastrophic, season-killing knee shredding and dislocation that derailed his 2025 run by Week 4. Top-tier Representative Drew Rosenhaus confidently declared the singular focus is physical recovery, guaranteeing his client hits the turf next year. Aiming for kickoff week remains the ultimate target, and murmurs suggest multiple franchises are already sniffing around. Powerhouses like Kansas City, the Chargers in Los Angeles, and Washington have all been floated as incredibly prime destinations. Defensive titan Chris Jones is already hitting the mic, begging management to bring the explosive threat back home to the Chiefs. His market value will undoubtedly plummet far below that absurd $30 million yearly haul he commanded down south. Still, general managers will absolutely dial his number provided the commissioner's gavel does not crush him first. That lingering threat is the terrifying wild card here. Inking this dynamic veteran means gambling on several massive franchise-altering liabilities. Primarily, that devastating joint trauma might have stolen his legendary burst entirely. Furthermore, a mid-season banishment in 2026 remains an incredibly massive hazard. Simultaneously, Sophie Hall's brutal civil battle rages on despite courts blocking a forced mental assessment, while that incredibly venomous legal split with Kia Vaccaro and its horrific claims hangs completely in limbo. Let us cut straight to the core truth. At this exact second, football headquarters has yet to pull the trigger on permanent exile for the star receiver. That reality is undisputed. However, it is equally undeniable that league watchdogs are currently ripping through his personal life with a fine-tooth comb. Behavioral guidelines grant the head office absolute, terrifying power to drop catastrophic sanctions whenever they see fit. His incredibly dark track record spanning from that 2014 off-field violence plea, straight into a 2019 family abuse probe, then onto the notorious dockyard scuffle, eventually reaching that brutal influencer litigation, the highly publicized highway police clash, the explosive household blow-up with his estranged partner, right down to the 8 terrifying claims of private violence buried inside legal separation papers, paints a horrific, unavoidable tapestry that executives simply cannot brush off as mere bad luck anymore. Outrage demanding his permanent removal has reached absolute deafening levels, arming the commissioner with both historical precedent and total legal backing to drop the ultimate hammer today. Only the coming months will dictate if football's elite pull that fatal lever. Yet, we can definitively declare one absolute truth right now. This athlete's journey is far from a triumphant comeback tale. It acts as a chilling testament to how generational speed can completely bulletproof a man from consequence, forcing us all to wonder if his armor is finally destined to shatter. The storm surrounding Tyreek Hill has evolved into something much bigger. It is now a massive league-wide crisis of consequences. Sports empires are caught in a brutal tug-of-war, shielding their billion-dollar image versus actually dropping the hammer. A generational talent engulfed in endless scandal forces a bitter reality check down our throats. Breathtaking athletic dominance too often blindfolds us to off-the-field chaos. It is a lethal gamble, shattered public faith, and chaotic justice systems breed a toxic culture of untouchability. Simultaneously, this superstar saga proves exactly how terrifyingly effective weaponized public relations can truly be. Courtroom victories, spin doctor headlines, and carefully crafted corporate apologies completely hijack reality. Escaping prison time usually means an immediate green light for game day, but the unforgiving court of public opinion plays by entirely different rules. The crowd ignores the commissioner's desk now, They are ruthlessly dissecting every red flag, dark rumor, and toxic habit. A mountain of police reports, whispers, and chaotic legal battles paints a deeply disturbing picture of Hill, one that cannot just vanish into thin air. Then comes the cold, ruthless financial reality lurking beneath the surface. Any franchise desperate enough to sign him faces a terrifying gamble, trading their entire corporate soul for blinding, game-breaking speed. Massive endorsements, team brotherhood, and dying fan devotion are all on the chopping block. One radioactive star can completely poison a dynasty. Certain executives might salivate over a bargain bin superstar, but the smart ones will run knowing a quick championship ring is never worth blowing up the franchise. How this explosive chapter ends could permanently rewrite the rulebook on how professional sports handle catastrophic off-the-field meltdowns. If the league finally draws a line in the sand, we might witness a revolution where dark past finally eclipse raw athletic firepower. But if the blind eye remains, they will blast a dangerous message to the world. Superhuman talent buys you total invincibility. No matter the fallout, this ticking time bomb is the ultimate trial by fire for football's very soul and morality.